All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, like all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shemi, Yahweh by Hashem, Dash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and to all the sincere rocking out there, present in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Bunya coming back at you with another lesson. And hey, the last few lessons I did, it's been about, endurance, and having that faith. And just was that yesterday, brother Tazawan was here, and we was watching the pandemic, if I'm saying it right, it's on Netflix. You brothers check it out. It's called Pandemic, and they going into like how like what we seeing right now, and I find it coincidental that they putting out these movies. A movie called Pandemic when you got all these diseases coming out as of late. But yeah. Hey, check that movie out. But without further ado, I'm gonna dive right into the scripture. This is James chapter 1, verse 1. It says, James, the servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. And I want to touch on that, the gist of a lesson. Slacking. I want to touch on that word, diverse temptations. Diverse meaning different, various.
Strong's G 4164, poikilos.
It says a various of colors, variety, whatever temptation you may fall into, Hey, some of it, some temptations may be self-inflicted, but others, the Lord tried, believe it or not, the Lord tried his men, to see what manner of man you are, So like, and then the word temptation.
Strong's G 3986, pyrosmos.
And it's an experiment, an attempt, a trial, proving, and I said it, that the Lord proved his man, Hey, but we know the trial that the trial of our faith worketh patience, So that's why the scriptures say this. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when I fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of our faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. It said, if any man lack wisdom, let him let him pray and ask Yahweh, that giveth all liberty and upbraideth not, and it shall be given. Let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, that he wavereth, like as a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. It says, let not a man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You going through your temptations, Hey, you not having that faith that the Lord will deliver you out of it. Hey, hey, what's the point? You gotta really believe. Hey, hey, we know that the Lord tests it. The Lord tests us. Hey, our focus, our job, our mission should be more so. Hey, if the Lord tested me, hey, how can I pass? Grab another scripture, the Apocrypha. Guess it's Salakia. Matter of fact, before I grab that one, I'll grab this one. This is Ecclesiasticus 2:2, or 2:1. It said, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." And we looked at that word temptation, and it means test, trial, And what happens when you're on the trial, Hey, you got the case case in point being brought against you, Hey, whether it's something you did or you didn't do, you being falsely accused, whatever charges may be brought. Hey, it might be just to test you to see what manner of man you are, but you gotta prepare your soul for it, meaning you gotta gird up your loins like a man, you gotta have faith. You gotta believe that, hey, no matter what situation that Yahweh Shai put me in, hey, I'm gonna endure it, Hey, I'm gonna get out of it, hey, through the power of Yahweh Shai. Even if I don't, which, hey, if you doing the work and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's no reason why you wouldn't, and you believe, hey, you still giving praise to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. But back in Ecclesiastes 2:2, it says, "Set thy heart aright." Right. Set your mind right, Hey, you going through this trial, you going through this. Yeah, it's hard, it's frustrating, your mind trapped, Satan priving at your thoughts, It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble," So, hey, make not haste in the time of trouble. Hey, don't be always looking for a way out, a way of escape, But hey, what you want to do, hey, like I said, it says, set your heart aright, Hey, guard your mind, When that time of trouble comes, that time of testing, Hey, endure. Hey, some tests might take 2-3 minutes, some 2-3 years, some 10 years, Hey, but you got to have in your mind, hey, whatever lesson that the Lord have for me to do, or have for me to learn from this, hey, to Him be the glory, It says, "Cleave unto Him and depart not away." Hey, so your mind should always be stayed. Like the Lord allowed you to be in this situation, Hey, so endure it, because the same person that allowed you to be in the situation, the same person who was able to get you out. Hey, the scripture say that the Lord wouldn't put more on you than you can bear. To roughly paraphrase, it says, "Cleave unto Him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end." Right. So, hey, if you go through these temptations, testing, these trials, hey, you just know that if you pass and if you endure at the last end, hey, whether it be the last end, the end of your life, whatever the case is, or just the end of that trial, hey, you know that if you keep the right mind and if you keep your focus, and keep the faith, hey, you're gonna be increased at the last end, And I do past, future, and present tense. Past tense, you going through the state, you going through the mind state. Present tense, you still going through the mind state, but you got hope to make it through, And then future tense, the last end, you done passed the test. Now you have the knowledge, understanding, and wisdom on how to get through that specific task or test, And you ready to go on to another test, You know that you may go and what the scripture say, the things that thou hast learned, that go and teach it unto faithful men. You know, hey, you got another opportunity to be a minister. You know, so to speak, to bring forth the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. You know, verse 4 it says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully." You know, hey, don't be all bitter and upset. You know, I mean, of course you're gonna have your mood swings, but hey, mentally, you know, take it cheerfully. You know, hey, the Lord brought this upon you for a reason. You know, hey, take it cheerfully. Don't to roughly paraphrase, hey, don't go cursing the Most High. You know, don't deny. You know, the thing, the faith, you know. It says, cleave unto him. It's like, whatsoever that is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You know, hey, you might have a nice big house. You know, you might have the ideal job. You know, you might have the ideal family. You know, whatever vices you may have. Hey, but if the Lord take that away, you know, if the Lord take all that away, you know, bust you down to the point where you living in tents, you know. Hey, it said, be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You know, and that word, Salaki, I go to it. I ain't gonna just quote it, which I should have did in the first place. Patient. Patient going into the word long suffering. So I want to get it in the blue letter, Salakia. Go. So the word patient.
Strong's G 5281. Upamane. Upamane.
Upamane. Meaning steadfast, constantly, endurance. You know, patiently, steadfast, patient, steadfast, waiting for, enduring, to preserve. You know, to preserve, to long suffer. You know, so you know, like I said, hey, we don't know how long, you know, our test or our trial is going to be for that specific moment. You know. Hey, but if we got to endure to the end, you know, we don't know how long, you know, when you bust down, you know, you don't know how long the Lord is gonna keep you in that lower state. But just, hey, you gotta know and have the faith that the Lord gonna bring you up, you know, because if the Lord decrease you, hey, the Lord can increase you. Verse 5 it says, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable. It's like and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, you know. So the Lord trying you as gold is tried in the fire. Believe in him and he will help you, and order thy way aright, and trust in him. It says, ye that fear the Lord will wait upon his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. You know, so hey, keep enduring, you know. Hey, keep pushing, keep the faith, you know. No matter what temptations and what matter of fact. In Corinthians, Slovakia. This is First Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. There is no temptation taking you such as common to man, but Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which ye are able, but will with temptation also make a way of escape, that ye may be able to bear it. You know, so hey, the Lord gonna get you out of the situation. You know, and He ain't gonna put more on you than you can bear. You know, and then I also, you know, I mentioned, you know, how the Lord test you, the Lord try you. This is Ecclesiasticus. I get it on here. I'm pulling it up in my Bible, but my apocryphal, but I'm gonna pull it up on here. You know, so y'all can follow along. Ecclesiastes started 4 and 11. It says, "Wisdom exalted her children, and she laid hold of them that seek her. He that loveth her loveth life." You know, and that's talking about wisdom. You know, the knowledge of the scriptures. You know, and they that ask to see her early shall be filled with joy. He that holdeth fast shall inherit glory, and whosoever she entereth, the Lord will bless. They that serve her, it's like they that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Lord doth love. Whosoever giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he shall attain unto her and shall dwell securely. You know, and this is the next verse is pretty much the point, the gist of what I wanted to bring out. You know, but hey, you gotta to sum it up. You know, you gotta hold fast to wisdom. You know, have faith. You gotta endure. You know, because we know that like I said, the trial of our faith worketh patience. You know, our faith is constantly being tried. You know, through wisdom. You know. Here we are learning of the scriptures, you know, and you don't think that we're going to be tried to see if we really believe, you know. And here's why. It says, verse 16. It says, "If a man commit himself unto her, he shall inherit her. And his generation shall hold her in possession. For at first she walked by him in the crooked ways," you know, and the Spirit go, you know, hey, what St. Corinthians, as a child, I thought as a child, understood as a child, but when I grew up, I put all those childish things behind them, you know. Hey, that's the area of those crooked ways. You didn't know no better, you know. The time of ignorance, I winked at you, you know. Hey, you didn't know any better, you know. That's those crooked ways, you know, when you was unsure. But now you know. Hey, here's what happens. So back in 17, it says, "She walked by him, at first she walked with him by the crooked ways, and bringeth fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul, and try him by her laws." You know, so as you like I'm saying, as you gain knowledge, you know, hey, just like you know, you a father with a child, you know. Hey, you gonna get on him, you know, constantly, and until you can prove that he, you know, responsible. You know, he's able to handle anything. You know, not just that particular task, but anything. You know. Hey, and that's the same way Yahweh Shai tried us. You know, through the Spirit. You know. It says, verse 18, "Then she will return straightway unto him, and comfort him, and she shew him her secrets." You know, hey, that's that wisdom, that's that knowledge. You know, that extra boost of faith, so to speak. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him. You know, and a lot of guys do. You know, they get a little understanding, they get a little wisdom. Hey, and ultimately, hey, they let it be their downfall. No, but you got there's a constantly endure, you know, constantly endure, you know. It said, but if he go wrong, she will forsake him, and she will give him over to his own ruin. You know, hey, and the spirit will the wisdom, the wisdom and the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will give you over to your own ruin. Whatever device or secret motive you may have had, you know, in the midst of the situation, hey, the Lord will give you over to it. Hey, but if you endure, you know, have that faith, keep your mind, you know, stayed on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you know, hey, and believing that He gonna get you out and get you out of the situation, not for your own vain glory, your own, you know, personal gain, but that He may get the glory, because hey, ultimately we know that the glory, you know, the glory belongs to Yahweh Shai, you know, Yahweh Shai, you know, hey, our lives is not our own, you know. Like I said, it's through the faith and the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's what we're placed there for, to teach the word and to do the work. You know, whatever Yahweh Shai, you know, may give us. You know, yeah, we're just messengers. You know, so hey, with that, you know, hey, hopefully this video was edifying. So with that, I'm gonna say all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, double honor to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and to all you sincere out there pressing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.